What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for my quick review of Caught Stealing, the new film from Darren Aronofsky. Now, if you're not familiar with this director, he has made films such as Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, The Whale, and Mother. I find that his films tend to range from deep, very potent psychological dramas to pretentious, overly self-indulgent messes. Caught Stealing is definitely his most mainstream film to date, so I do think it's unique in his filmography for that reason, and a few others that we'll discuss in a few minutes. But first off, here's a quick plot synopsis. Austin Butler stars as Hank, a New York City bartender who, by completely accidental circumstances, gains possession of a key that the entire criminal underbelly of the city is chasing after. Unlike most of Aronofsky's other films, this one is not depressing as hell. It does occasionally have some dark moments, and it certainly revels in morbid humor every now and then, but you can tell that he was trying to make something a little bit more fun this time around. Still, it's certainly not quite as lighthearted as I was expecting based on what the trailer gave me. Let's start off with what I like. First of all, the 1990s New York setting is a character of itself in this movie. The cast is great. Please, Hollywood, give Austin Butler some more lead roles. He deserves them. I think the dude has a ton of charisma, and even if his character isn't the most interesting to me, he's able to elevate it. Zoe Kravitz plays the character that I was perhaps most endeared to. Matt Smith is great as Hank's punk rock neighbor, who essentially gets him into this whole mess. But the two biggest standouts for me might have actually been Liev Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio, who are absolute scene stealers as two menacing Jewish mobsters. And without a doubt, between this and Argylle, Caught Stealing is definitely the better movie to feature someone carrying a cat around the entire film. Perhaps most importantly, it's entertaining. It does have an element of familiarity. Like, I've seen variations of this story like 100 times. We have a practically innocent lead character who, by completely accidental circumstances, gets sucked into the world of gangsters and has to avoid being killed, and also avoid being framed for the violence that's left in the wake of these events. It also has a solid number of twists to keep you on your toes. Maybe twist is the wrong word. There are plenty of moments where a character pops up or Hank will go to someone new and you're like, oh, okay, maybe this is the direction the rest of the film is going to go into. And then that's immediately scrapped and it veers in the opposite direction. I do think that tone becomes a significant issue. Moving back into talking about Aronofsky's sensibilities as a director, he tends to make movies that are about very dark subject matter such as addiction, guilt, and tragedy. So when you combine the tongue-in-cheek Guy Ritchie style of dialogue with some of the more serious moments in this film, you do, at least if you're like me, you get these moments where the shifts in tone feel jarring. And the baseball references, Jesus Christ, there are so many baseball references, and I get it. The title is Caught Stealing, and the lead character is obsessed with baseball. He was going to go pro before a very serious accident happened to him when he was younger. But I think some of the attempts to be quirky got in the way of this film. For instance, throughout the film, Hank has a series of phone calls with his mother, some of which he basically explains to her that he's going to be accused of murder or that he's on the run from criminals, this or that. There are several of them throughout the runtime. But in each one, he opens and closes the phone call with some sort of comment about, I was about to say the Yankees because it's set in New York, but I think it was actually the San Francisco Giants. Regardless, Hank has just informed his mother that there is an active manhunt against him. And for some reason, she closes the conversation by saying, "Go Giants." I don't know if that was the film's attempt to be humorous or if they're just trying to remind us of what Hank is passionate about. But there are a lot of weird details in this movie like that didn't fully work for me. Another thing that comes to mind, clearly some of the bad guys, particularly a group of Russians that visit Hank early on in the film looking for this key, are meant to be intimidating, but they were at times way too goofy for me to take seriously. And I get that they're a part of organized crime, but this New York is portrayed to be so lawless that somehow a long line of homicides doesn't catch the attention of the FBI or something. Either way, it was nice to see Aronofsky try something different for once. I think the film will play generally well for audiences. It's not a great film, but I would recommend it at matinee price, or if you're looking for something to stream at home in a few months. I'm going to give Caught Stealing 3 stars. So those are my brief thoughts on the film. Be sure to watch the film for yourself, formulate your own opinion, come back and let me know what you think of it down in the comments. As always, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe before you take off. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.